and now I've got this funny placeholder thing because I got tired of like windows being different sizes. So now if Brian's video isn't exact, which I don't remember if it was or not, or if it was my own pan and crop that had fucked it up, but regardless, it'll look good, and there'll be at most like a little black box around it, a little border at most. What's weird about yesterday is just the fact that, or last night, and Happy New Year to everyone out there, is I didn't hear a lot of celebrations and not a lot of early celebration either. It was very quiet. We usually get a lot of fireworks in our area, even though they're not legal here. But no, man, we shot off the first firework, just one Roman candle, if you will. That's what they're called, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We shot off just
stick thing.
Yeah, just one for Lucas at like 8. That was it until like 10.
And then it wasn't very much. And
no, man.
And in our area, it's like usually it's like a few days of
before,
noise,
during, and after.
Exactly. And I guess now people are just like, I'm done. So I don't know.
There might have been some firework shortages, because in the area I'm in, there's usually like 30 tents all over. I saw one. Yeah. One in the last couple of weeks. And you're right, last night there was a few going off, but nothing like it typically does. Yeah, I don't know. It was an odd night.
There wasn't as many parties on our street either.
Oh.
And what I'm thinking is last year 2020 going into 21, we all were super excited and celebrating the end of what we thought would be a god awful year, and not repeating, and then boom, 2020 part 2, Electric Boogaloo, and now we're into 2023, the end of the first act of the end of the world. No, I'm joking. Maybe. Yeah. Anyways, it's kind of cool because I actually do have our whole new setup, and I can get into things by saying, welcome everybody to the Anime-Versal Reviews podcast on the on the Genreverse Podcast Network and Genreverse Podcast Network YouTube channel, brought to you by LRM Online. There you go. I finally got through it. We are sponsored by the good folks over at Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. A little bit more from them later in the episode. You are watching this currently on one of our two channels, the LRM YouTube channel or the Genreverse YouTube channel. It's kind of a soft launch weekend for the Genreverse channel, and please do subscribe. If you are on LRM's channel, hop on over to Genreverse. There's a link to it down below. Maybe I'll be able to put something on the video for you guys, and subscribe there, because starting next week, none of the podcasts, Marvel Multiverse, Daily Cup of Genre, Breaking Geek Radio, Anime-Versal, all of that stuff starting Monday goes on to the Genreverse Podcast Network's YouTube channel, Genreverse YouTube channel. So yeah, follow, subscribe. There's social media information down below at the Genreverse on Twitter, at LRM_exclusive on Twitter. I think I've done everything except say I'm Kyle Malone. This is Christine Malone. That's Brian Brantley. And we are here to talk about a movie that Brian's selected. Mm-hmm. Brian.
Yes.
Words bubble up. First off, this movie is adorable as fuck.
Yes.
And what made you choose it, and what was your first reaction, bud?
I was just Googling anime that came out in the last couple of years that was recent that I haven't seen. Originally, because you were like, hey, what do you want to watch? And I was going to pick something I had seen before. And I was like, no, I want to see something new. And this one kept getting recommended in every list I saw. And so I watched the trailer. I was like, the art style is sort of what did it for me. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, hour 27 minutes. Sure. And so I watched it, and dude, I got a little choked up at the end. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This was a very, very good anime, and it hits pretty hard in that last act, in a way I didn't expect. So yeah, I was very, very pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Christine.
Yeah, I remember when we just started watching it, I was kind of like, Brian picked this, like I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know what you were gonna pick. So for me, it was just, I guess anything would have been surprising because it's like I don't really know what you were looking for to pick next. So like we were watching this, I was like, oh, okay, looks nice, but yeah, we'll keep watching it, and it was really good. And it's like the more we kept watching it, the more invested, and it's great.
It was really just like I said, fucking adorable.
Yeah.
There's some heartbreak to a degree, more like just, oh man, that really sucks, but really relatable situations. One of them being moving, and that both,
that's what caught me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I felt every bit of
that dread,
yeah.
and that ride out of town. The three of us have done that way too many times, all being army brats, and then you being my spouse while I was in the army.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork we'll get into a lot more later, but stylized artwork is always very, very iffy. But this, you settle into it real fast, and the coloring is just, yeah. We'll talk more on that later. I really enjoyed the movie thoroughly, and yeah, man, I can't wait to kind of just break down, the way that we do things here on AVR, which is talk about some of the themes of the movie, and then we get into some of the characters that we don't really dig into too much while speaking about overview and stuff, and then we'll talk about the art and music, and yeah, let's go ahead and just say what the movie's about. Kind of sort of the main characters are Cherry and Smile. That's the names they go by. Sakura, and I can't remember her name, her actual name, but Cherry is a guy who's about to move. We find out his mom got hurt. He's been filling in for her at this old people's place, and then kind of like a not a nursing home, but like a rec center, if you will, like a rehab center / rec center type.
Like a way to entertain them and keep
like
them active.
Older people babysitting almost.
Yeah,
but not just babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
Or daycare, if you will. Cherry expresses himself through haiku. He's not very, he's not anti-sociable. He's got a couple of friends, but he's very, very into his own world. Doesn't like to speak as much outside of his group of friends. Very minimalist, but loves his haiku. Carries a dictionary book with him, and is part of a haiku group at the mall. It's just a really cool character that, I mean, I can relate. I don't always want to be in my own world, but I can relate to the idea of putting on some headphones or whatnot and kind of getting out of it, everything. But meets this other girl named Smiles. She's kind of like a Twitter or Instagram influencer, if you will, with her and her sisters. She's dealing with randomly becoming self-conscious, I'm guessing around the time that she hit puberty, because everyone's hormones and brains start changing, and these are high school kids, and she's grew up with some buck teeth, which she inherited from her dad, and she's just becomes self-conscious about it, wearing a mask, doesn't want to smile anymore. She doesn't think they're as cute as she and others once did. And then it's literally just slice of life crap. They bump into each other, literally accidentally switch phones, and spend a summer getting to know each other, getting to kind of fall for each other. And at the inside the middle of it all, there's this side story about Mr. Fujiyama and a record with a girl that he was in love with, that helps connect Cherry and Smile some more. And at the end, we get this beautiful, he's moving away. The friends work with Smile to set up, hey, stop the car, get him over to this festival, because there's going to be fireworks, and she's wearing yukata or kimono or whatever, and fucking, yukata. I can't remember which one at the festival time, but she's she's up there, doing the social media thing. He comes in and does something you really, really wouldn't expect, and that's express himself, not just out in public, but over a fucking loudspeaker. We get fireworks, I like you, in the movie. It's beautiful, it's fun, and really, man, the themes that I get from this, one, friendships and relationships just in general, but both romantic and friendly, and then of course self-love, and then kind of like self-esteem, which kind of go hand in hand, but there's a difference between accepting yourself and then loving yourself.
Yeah.
And Christine, I know that, and I don't hope this doesn't bring up too much, but
Yeah,
I know in
school
you had people that gave you issues about the way you look, made you question things as well. So I'm guessing this character Smile probably spoke to you a bit.
They actually both did, Smile and Cherry, because I was definitely the person that did not like to be noticed. It was like frightening, like social anxiety was something I really struggled with. So I definitely related a lot to him. And then self-consciousness. Heck, I even had a boy in class in front of everyone ask my cup size. like
Wow.
Wanting to know my bra size, and I'm just like, I just
Fort Campbell High.
I know. I instinctually just answered the question because I just it was like an automatic question answer, and then I immediately regretted it, and I was just like, stop, leave me alone. So
It's fucked up.
I know, and I was dealing with being short, and then I was actually teased for being pale even by adults. So there's a lot of that. I didn't have
Tina.
Yeah, shame on you. So yeah, I had stuff that I had to deal with, and I've definitely moved on from all of that. I don't wish to be taller anymore. I don't wish to have a bigger cup size
You don't want to be
anymore.
a little bit taller, maybe a baller.
Stop. But yeah, so I've definitely, since I've matured, have I now have self-love. But watching her, it was definitely one of those man, I've been there, girl. I'm sorry. So yeah, it was both of them.
Brian, these themes are kind of universal. You don't necessarily have to have either a physical or behavioral. I don't want to call them defects because they're not, but something that's not like others.
Differences.
Or differences. There you go. I'm trying to be as PC as I can because some people take blunt words meaning mean things, and it's like, no, that's just how I talk. Fuck.
Yeah.
But go ahead and talk about the idea of self-esteem. I mean, dude, you see kids every day dealing with this shit. Not to mention yourself growing up.
I'm on the shorter side of height, and there was definitely, I never really got crap for it. I'll be honest. I typically never got picked on about it, but there was definitely a period in high school where it bothered me a little bit. But I got past it pretty quick. The thing I loved about this film was that, he wore the headphones. Mm-hmm. She wore the mask. They were both hiding in a way. Mm-hmm. They were still, like you said, they were still out there. They were social to a degree, but they both still had a way that a comfort, a thing that sort of their insecurities that they were able to shield themselves with. And I thought that was really clever. I also thought this was a great way of portraying, I guess, sort of Gen Z.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times entertainment it portrays younger generations in a very just wrong. Mm-hmm. Or or just
where we can't kind of relate to it at all,
or we can't relate to it. It just feels like an older person trying to write a younger person, and this felt very genuine.
Yeah.
I love the fact that she's still, she's online, she's social media, and she's super popular and everything, but she still has her little group that she hangs with. They still go out, and yes, they're on their phones all the time, but they're still out doing things, and he's working and helping support the family because of his mom's injury. But yeah, as far as going back to the the mask and the headphone thing. I just thought it was clever. And it was funny. There was a moment where they were both walking and I realized, oh, it's like they're both wearing a mask, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, that's clever. You know, there's a lot of little things like that throughout the film.
I absolutely love all of that. And well, one of the things also that we see a lot with writing for youth is ignoring the human experiences. They'll look for that, you know, very small niche experience, or maybe a generational specific experience, which is hard to then appeal to a broader audience. Not to mention, like Brian had said, you know, if you get older people trying to write younger people, and then often a lot of Western media suffers from a fear of certain, not just subjects, but certain tones or certain actions, letting bad guys be bad guys, letting innocence exist. Like there's things that in Western media that modern things just kind of tiptoe around, and it takes away from certain people being able to experience it, because, you know, the three of us, we don't have, you know, thin ass skin, and we're not, you know, easily set off by things. So being challenged with our entertainment is beneficial. You know, we seek that out, and if you don't have those challenges, then other issues become way more visible. But this focused on the human experience. You know, Brian and I had a very large group of friends between the two of us, and expanded even broader to the you know, the friends of friends outside of that. And even then, we still had, you know, our own little, you know, safe spots, you know, comfort zones, if you will. But our other friends did too. So seeing them, you know, like hanging out at the teen club when we were in high school, you could have a large group of friends that might all show up together, but one or two might kind of splinter off and be listening to music or playing the game, while the others are doing more social things. So I agree, Brian, showing them walking around, being on the phone, being there but not being there is 100%. That's universal, man. Mm-hmm. And I just I loved it. I thought this movie did such a great job of taking things that we can all go through, definitely putting a modern spin on it, but it's again universal. So I really appreciate that.
I think even years down the line, it's still going to be like, oh yeah, this of course, you know, places a date on when it came out, but, you know, we can still get something from it. Yeah.
I mean, we're living in a time of technology, like you unheard of ubiquity in our war. I mean, it's everywhere, right? Microchips are in everything, right? And it's fun to go, oh, you can watch this 80s movie, and sure, if there's an old style corded or cordless phone, that might date it, but other than the clothes, it could be really timeless. Not so much anymore, even. Like, now we're getting to the point to where even aesthetically, even the things that I once thought were aesthetically timeless aren't. And I think barring some sort of great reset, which would be awful, this technology kind of filled world might even last longer. Maybe I don't know, but you are right to where that even in the future, people could still watch this and still connect to it because of the way it's done.
Yeah, I mean, there's different types of personalities. You know, shy boy likes girl, and, you know, having to learn how to blossom, and so yeah, there's stuff to get out of it. And self-consciousness and all that.
Excuse me. So I think before we go ahead and start jumping into some of these characters, we should take a word from our sponsors over at Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Take it away.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. From propagation to harvest, they have everything you need for your special garden. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the episode. Please check them out in the link down below. And let them know the Genreverse Podcast Network sent you, or the Genreverse YouTube channel sent you. So yeah, do that. Anime-Versal reviews. Woo! Yay! Characters. All right. That's like the next thing that we usually like to get into. And we mentioned Cherry and we mentioned Smile a little bit, but I think, Brian, you said that the ending really gets to you. So just speaking about these two main characters, and I'm guessing a little bit more with Cherry, with the whole moving thing, kind of dig into his wait, what? No, dig into the kid character.
Cherry, yeah, the moving thing, man. Like you said, I moved several times growing up, Army brat. The counting down the days, the slow packing, having to tell everybody you're close with, hey, this is when I'm leaving, this is when I'm leaving. Having those you didn't want to really tell. And then that day where, dude, when they got in the car, it was nighttime, and they finished packing, they get in the car and they take off, and him looking out the window. I did that, like I said, y'all, I went through that several times, and leaving people that you cared about. And so no, I just absolutely felt that. But I love the way they yet again, we're going back to the younger generation. Yes, they're on the phone all the time, and that's sort of the thing that everybody says. But I love that they still are expressing themselves, and the haikus was his way of expressing himself, an old art form, and our old art form.
Yeah.
And the fact that he used that. Also, going back to the technology sidebar real quick, I loved how him and Smile's relationship, it was the cell phones was sort of how they met. It was the communication. It was the journey of their love. And then the journey in the end, the older man's
Mr.
name,
Fujiyama,
that it was also technology. It was, he was taking pictures of her. They were recording her music. There was this record that he, was trying to find, and you need a record player to play it. So it was interesting that both of them, I don't know if that was on purpose, but an older form of technology, if you will, in a modern form, was sort of at the center of both of those essentially love stories.
But
technology bringing us all together.
I like that, but Brian, I didn't put it together like that. And not only that, but the cell phone thing. How many other movies or shows have a future couple bumped into each other and swapped a bag, or swapped an address book, or even phones has happened in television and stuff. So
yeah, we connected with Instant Messenger when you were deployed, so it's like
we knew each other for
but I'm just
years
saying, like,
before
but the blossoming of our relationship started when you were deployed.
People trying to kill you kind of makes you not want to get off the planet with an angry 5'0" redhead, just like, yes, he's gone. And so
I was never gonna think that.
I would have, like, if I were you and I had gone, I was an ass, still am.
True.
But it is interesting how technology does that. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Oh no, but I loved that journey of his character. And it's funny because even though we get sort of a happy ending, and I won't jump into it yet, but there's still the idea that he is moving.
Oh yeah.
And I thought about that, but there's a line earlier in the film, I forget who says it, where they're like, well, I have my cell phone, so that still connects me to everyone. So thinking that way, don't know how old he is. They look older, high school age. So at some point, he could always come back in a couple years or whatever, when
gotta love that headcanon, Brian.
That's essentially correct.
I know.
But they could stay, communication with the phone thing.
Yeah, like
I was immediately jumped to that idea, because I was like, yeah, that was great, but he's still moving.
Yeah, like with Weathering with You, there was no connection, but they still had the memory of each other, and they got back together in the end. So it's like with this, fingers crossed, it could happen.
Yeah,
they don't have to, fade out.
They don't have to rely on a damn time traveling ribbon to connect them, like in your name.
Yeah. So
and there's a lot of trains in Japan, so he could just
Yeah, right.
Travel,
Visit.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Easy. Christine, you want to talk about any of the any more about the main characters? You got anything else to say about them?
Something that you had mentioned a while back. I think we were watching one of those like Spider-Man clips of like interviews or something, and how Tom Holland was like so excited for the Watch Mojo lady.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
dude, you're like with Robert Downey Jr. And I know you said you're like nervous when you met him and whatnot, but like you're
so excited
out
to
over
meet this YouTuber.
YouTuber.
Yeah, and so like Cherry's friend is all excited, like, oh, your smile. And so it was just funny how like how popularity and celebrity status can be so different with the younger generation, or even maybe some people like our age might get excited for someone who's a YouTuber, meeting them and stuff like that.
For sure. We're unfortunately
times have changed.
millennials. And it crazy. We're all pushing 40. Well, she's not over the halfway 30 point, but Brian and I are pushing 40 like hard.
Very hard.
And to remember that we are part of that millennial generation. Sorry guys, it goes back as early as 1981 according to most places. Between 81 and 83 is the starting year for that.
We're on the border.
We're in it.
Yeah.
So and guess what? There's already 40-year-old millennials. So fuck.
Yeah, but it was funny to see that, and it's like, like you haven't even met this person. They're not, on the big screen or anything, but yet you're still excited to see them. So I thought that was cute, like a nice little, addition, showing the generation and how different it is, how different our times now are. So like I thought that was a good moment. Yeah,
I like that. There's a couple of like other kids, the friends of Cherry. One of them is an immigrant. Says his dad speaks Spanish or writes Spanish or Spanish is the language. So I'm guessing maybe an immigrant potentially even a military member, could be from the Spanish military. I don't know what the international
or someone
community
mixed.
is there. Someone mixed. Business travel doesn't matter. His whole thing is he's using Cherry's haiku to learn how to write in Japanese by tagging graffiti everywhere, all sorts of Cherry's haikus, but he gets certain words wrong, and that makes for a really good fun moment where the word he gets wrong is replaced with a word that still works at the end. And then there's tough boy, who's just Mr. Fujiyama's son, and is just a way to connect us from the youth to Mr. Fujiyama's extended family, or not his son, his like grandson or some shit.
Your grandson.
But it's Mr. Fujiyama's the other kind of character to chit chat about. And Brian brought him up earlier. He's an older man. Ran a record store, spends his time looking for this record that he pressed with this girl that he had a thing for. He took a photograph of her, got on the record, but he's not found the record. It's been lost. And at the end of his story, they find a copy of the record. It's warped, and Smile breaks it, trying to flatten it, and then they end up finding the other one. And I spotted it on the wall only after you see the firework image on the reverse side of the one that they found. But as soon as I saw that the very next time they were in the rec room.
Yeah, I was like,
even before anyone else mentions it, I'm like, motherfuckers.
yeah. Well, it made sense because he kept looking around the mall. And, his memory wasn't there, but it,
you find out the mall used to be a vinyl pressing plant, and yeah, I mean it's just cool. They find that this record, same exact record, which the back is a photograph of the town's annual festival, fireworks has been turned into a clock and stuck on the wall, and it's been there for years. And they find the record, and it plays into the ending. And Brian, did you have anything you want to talk about, Mr. Fujiyama?
It was wild because he's introduced at the very beginning, and then like you say, we bring in Cherry and Smile and their storyline. And literally their meeting and their friends and just all those interactions is sort of the first half of the film. And then it turns in the second entire half is a quest.
Mm-hmm.
It's to find this record. And it was interesting how the film was broken up that way. And then of course their bonds and everything strengthened over that journey. But it was essentially a quest. And then it dug into them learning about the history of that area and the mall. And so you start getting all these different little pieces. And then finally they find the magic item at the end, which they take to the festival. So yeah, I got invested in the story. And when his daughter is explaining, oh yeah, my mom, and she starts giving the story, I'm like on the edge of my seat listening, like, oh, what? Like you start to really get invested in that story and want to know the answers of what exactly why he wants that record. So yeah, I loved it.
I love how it connects to Smile and the whole what is it, Yaka? I can't pronounce the word. It's a kind of change on Sakura, and it ends up basically relating to the buck teeth. Like that was the whole thing. Is there's this connection. The girl that Mr. Fujiyama was in love with at that time also had a set of buck teeth, and it's that kind of realization. There's a nice little moment where she's looking at herself and even the reflection of her phone, and it's used earlier in it and whatnot. But seeing that come together and seeing someone even long ago having just this beautiful smile, and this old man pining for that for years to come, it's a really cool thing. What do you have on Fujiyama's part of this?
I don't know, not much else to say. I mean, Brian had touched on a lot that I was thinking, but it's just really sweet. Like, it's always that you don't have to have that perfectly perfect face. You found the word?
Yeah, Yamazakura.
Yeah, so it's like that unique thing about someone, where it's like you find it cute, you find them, attractive. It's like, and it going into Smile and Cherry, to where it was like, he didn't care. He thought she was pretty, even with that, like, it's like, stop hiding it, kind of thing. And yeah, so it's like, having to just the whole thing, just history repeats itself, that kind of thing. But yeah, the word is for the like budding leaves before the cherries blossom, if I remember correctly, and that's why he talks about the leaves she's hiding, because that word was used again, like I said, as some sort of colloquialism, I guess you would say, for buck teeth. So yeah, that last haiku, that he starts screaming there at the end, is really cool, and I like how he just bluntly says it. Since the guy messed up the word on the sign, maybe that's what gave him the idea. It says, teeth. I like your teeth. I like that they're there. That's fine. Not just fine. I like it. I'm into that shit. God.
But it is just a great scene, and the ending is like a lot of anime that end happily, at a festival of fireworks. I like you. Oh, great. But it's just wonderfully done, and it kind of could take us into the discussion about art, because that's like this is where you get a lot of really good movement, just kind of like at the beginning scene, but it's set darker. There's a lot more emotional stuff going on. going on for it. The artwork here throughout the whole film though is beautiful. The colors, like I said, especially in the beginning, whenever it's daylight, so bright and vibrant and just very, very striking. Great use of color. It's very, very stylized. There's not a lot of like clean lines or anything like that. It's got some odd movement to it, but like I said, you settle into it really quickly and you start to appreciate even the almost, I don't want to say whimsical, but because it's not, it's very purposeful, but that fluid movement of even the line work and how not everything is not so defined. You start seeing how that fits in with the music and the flow of the movie. I think it's great. Brian, what do you want to talk about with the art and the final scene, if there
like
was something I missed?
Bold, the art is very bold, and it's jarring for about the first 3 minutes because you, like you said, you have to just sort of get into it, but then you stop thinking about it, and I just, the brightness, it makes the anime stand out in a very positive way, because it does have sort of that unique stylized art style, and it works. It works very well. Did y'all watch the dub or the sub?
We watched the sub.
I did too. Okay, I was just curious. I heard that it was a good dub, but
I'm wondering about the music. There's I gotta watch the Dr. Stone episodes where Lillian sings and see if they have a Japanese like vocalist there, because Lillian's American.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering. I haven't looked that up, so I need to check. But usually, just out of safety of music, if I can watch it in sub, I will, especially movies, because they tend to have songs and stuff involved with them. Shows not as much of a bother for me. But yeah, we watch the sub, so.
But yeah, no, I love the art style, and this is a movie I want to rewatch soon. It's and that's a saying a lot. It's one of those, like, yeah, I really want to rewatch it. Maybe the dub, but yeah, beautiful art.
Yeah. Christine, anything?
Yeah, like first watching it, it can be kind of, because I wasn't expecting it. I don't think any of us were expecting the way that the artwork was, but it's just like it was done well. And when it comes to like stuff that's stylized, it's a fine line of getting right and wrong. Sometimes it can be like, okay, no, this doesn't work for me, but this it was perfect. And you just kind of get deep into the story, and it's not in the way. Because sometimes where it is super stylized, it can just be like distracting. But it wasn't. It was perfect. I liked it.
Aeon Flux. Gotta hate that shit. Sorry, guys. I know I just pissed off some people, but
pissed me off.
That fucking art is just atrocious. I fucking hate it.
It is. Oh, I'm not gonna get into that.
Thursday Throwdown Daily. No, anyways. What did I interrupt?
No, you're good.
The music on the other hand is used beautifully too, very, very poppy, and I don't mean like pop style. I just mean like even the music is very, very, just like the colors pop, the music pops. It fits. The montage scene is great. There's nothing in the music that is ever dull. There are things that just kind of blend into the background, but that's good. You only want to remember you only want people to remember that they heard certain songs at certain points. Like I mentioned, the montage and the final song. People go the Star Wars main theme, the Force theme, the Imperial March. Those are moments tied, but you start thinking about what's playing while Obi-Wan is talking to this character, or in the prequels, or what happens when the theme when it's not Han and Leia, but Leia and Luke or something. People lose those tracks, but the fact is, this has got moments where you're like, damn, man, I can remember that music. I like that. Anyone else? Brian?
There's something that I wanted to say, because
sure.
Brian had mentioned the different masks that they wore, whether it be headphones or like a physical mask. Their houses, something that I noticed, where Cherry's house is very small, closed off, cozy, and Smile's house is really big and open. And even like the sisters, all three of them, their space is just so open and shared. Smile is someone outgoing, even though she's, not liking her teeth. But, you can tell with like the different, ways that they live. I noticed that as well.
Yeah. So, Brian, music.
Yeah, it's great. Like you said, it works perfectly. And the song at the end, like I said, man, a combination of that and the imagery, it hits.
Yeah, it's nice when the song starts
nice.
playing, and the way he starts reading out his haiku that he's written over the summer, which I don't know if he, I think there's a moment where he realizes what and who he's writing about without even knowing beforehand. That's what he was doing. Yeah, and
she notices it too.
Right, and I like that part where he starts spouting out the haiku, not singing them, but he is trying to find that rhythm and go with the song, and it is a beautiful moment. So that brings us down to the big discussion. What do you guys grade this movie? Brian, you picked it. What do you grade it, man?
A.
without a doubt.
No, it's an A.
Yeah, no, I'm saying me too, without a doubt.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh, look at that! It is a triple A title, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It's the A plus is one of those things that is not just something that's executed great, but something that's executed great and then is also different and blows you out of the. They got to earn that plus, but that solid A, that 9.5 out of 10, that is a great score and the sign of a perfectly executed film in my mind. Like, that's when I give out an A, I really want to feel like that, especially with movies. Shows are a little bit differently because they're based on things coming before and after that episode. But that grade of A to me is just like, here was your idea. This was what you had to do to execute it, and every fucking thing lined up. So yeah, you talk about your grade or anything? No,
just y'all covered it. It was cool. It was an A. I mean, it's hard to get that perfect score, but I mean, it was damn near perfect. There's still some things where it's like, I kind of want to find out what happens after, like maybe like an end credit scene.
Could she for once say I like you too, damn it.
Well, not just that, but like, with what happens with the whole moving situation, for me it was just like, you don't always have to end on happily ever after, but I'm still dying to know.
I love how short this film was, and I don't mean that in a like thank God it was over. I mean it in a, again, perfectly executed way. Brian, hour and 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, perfect. And it told the story. I didn't feel shortchanged outside of, I agree, maybe a little montage in the credits.
Yeah,
would have been nice, but no, this is, there's so many movies, whether it's animated or not, that you're just like, you could have shaved off 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes in some cases. This, I was like, wow, that perfect script,
Yeah, nothing wasted, nothing drawn out. Just, yeah. It was great.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week, the last week where we're, putting these on LRM's YouTube channel. So please do stay subscribed there for all the great celebrity interviews, both all including on set sometimes, red carpet types events, and of course Zoom interviews are still going on. And subscribe to the Genreverse YouTube channel now. Genreverse Podcast Network has a YouTube channel. Follow us also wherever you get your podcasts from. Social media information down below, lrmonline.com and genreverse.com. All your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Please do help us get our subscriber count up on this new channel and spread the Genreverse to others. So yeah, Brian also does some YouTubing. What do you got going on, Brian?
Yeah, on YouTube, the channel is PulpMythos, and talk about shows like Dexter and 1883.
Nice. Christine, anything you want to put out?
No.
Okay, cool. You can find her on the Daily Cup of Genre with me on weekdays. So yeah, thanks guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.